Well, we'd left Bhaktivedanta Manor early in the morning and we drove to Heathrow Airport. There were only 2 cars at the manor, a brown Escort and my little Morris Minor. And another car arrived from London, a big black car to pick up Prabhupada. But when we got to the airport, there was many devotees there. And there was a kirtan, and this is in the arrivals, Terminal 3, I believe. And the room was packed with devotees. And we were all chanting, and we waited and waited, and Prabhupada came through, and it was like I'd never seen, this was like seeing the ambassador of another galaxy. He was radiant, glowing, the biggest smile on his face, and everyone dived on the floor. All the cordon rails, all the ropes and ashtrays, everything went flying. And the security didn't know what was happening. They just stood there completely awestruck. And then I first saw Prabhupada. And I knew, after having read yoga books, Vivekananda, Baba Ram Das, I had to follow Srila Prabhupada. So then we drove off in the vehicles, and Brahmananda got in my car. And in the car, we had, there was a plate of Mahaprasad, and they were passing it round, and I was the driver, so I didn't see what it was, and they came from the back seat and they said, now you have some of this, and reach over, and I reached in the bowl, took a bite, and I was driving along, and suddenly my hair stood on end and my face broke out into sweat. I was just eating into raw ginger. I didn't even know what ginger root was. And I was driving like this, trying to stay on the seat. And no one noticed that I'd eaten raw ginger, but my face was as red as a beetroot and sweating all the way back to the manor. My first attendance at one of Srila Prabhupada's lectures here at Bhaktivedanta Manor, I was right at the front, and Prabhupada came into the temple to give this lecture, and he climbed up on the Vyasasana, and as he turned to sit, he looked me right in the eyes, and I knew that he knew everything about me, past, present and future, and I had nothing to hide. I knew that this is what I had to do for the rest of my life, even though I was not initiated at this point. He was Trikalagya. We had the music of George Harrison. I had lived at the college very near where George Harrison was living in Henley. And I'd driven up to see him one day because I had this album, George Harrison, Family and Friends. And Ravi Shankar, George Harrison, Family and Friends. And I had a song on it called Krsna, Where Are You? Beautiful flute playing. And I drove up to George Harrison's house on the strength of hearing this, to just ask him about this, because I'd been reading yoga, different books. I actually had written off for the perfection of yoga, and the BTG I got given, I cut out the mantra, which was in pink and white and black, and stuck it on my dashboard in my car, and would chant with the tape of the album which I'd been given by Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj. On a little cassette in my car, I'd chant at the highest volume I could, the India album, with the Hare Krishna mantra on the screen. And I had no idea what this was meant or anything, but I would chant every day very, very loudly. And I guess that's what made me a devotee, the chanting. And Prabhupada said, never give up on this chanting. Never give up on this chanting, because it will reveal everything. Everything's contained within this mantra. There were so many qualities of Prabhupada that were unique. You would see pictures of him in the BTG when he was in the snow, with his Swami hat on, in New York in the blizzard and snow, like alone in the street, just looking like this over his shoulder and walking. And you'd think, how is this possible? That someone has come this great distance to give us this Maha Mantra, to give us the spiritual mantra, the Maha Mantra, in which everything's contained. Je anilo premadana koruna prachu